Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're having a bit of an interesting crisis. At least Netflix has an interesting crisis. Now, apparently, what I said came into fruition. Now, I'm not quite sure what necessarily happened, what caused this, but it seems that Netflix password thing has really come into an effect in a negative way. Now I remember in my last video that I made that Netflix power sharing seemed to have worked somehow. That it got more people to apply or to sign up to their subscription, which was good for them, I guess. But it seems that it has immensely backfired because what we have seen now in the past 5 days, they are down practically 18 to 20 billion dollars, and it doesn't seem like it's good. It's still going down as we see it. As of 1 month ago, we seen a rise and increase, and then now they're just plummeting. And you see a 6 month here, it's still it's still in the green, but this was not too far. And if you do like this, it's still in the green, and then do 5 years all plus. But recently, this is also kind of weird too, because normally, if you even do the 5 year thing, yeah, it's mostly positive. I may believe somewhere around here is where the Netflix or cuties type of thing happened. So that's when they took a huge plummet. And as a year goes by, they still stagnated, going down, up, which is somewhat normal for a company. But as we see here, in the past 5 days, it's really taken a plummet, and it's not going well. And we're seeing this here as well, that we have the Netflix password crackdown has been as effective as I feared, and the worst is yet to come. So you see this here even from more other news articles. Netflix subscribers purged, but its stomachs plummeted. Here's why. Tesla and Netflix shares face several weeks of weakness, and then you have Netflix, the bounce is over, technical analysis downgrade, and all this other great stuff. So what we have here, I hate to say I told you so, but the unalloyed success of Netflix password sharing crackdown is surely the beginning of changes across all our subscription accounts. If you've been sharing accounts with friends and family for anything from Amazon to Hulu and maybe even the New York Times, expect all of them to start cracking and blocking logins that are not from members of your paying account family or from your location. I'm so certain of this that I convinced myself the other evening that the global cross-category crackdown was already underway, which was weird because when we saw this, either it was false reporting or what have you, but it does seem that Netflix did have an upsurge of actual subscribers. But what we're seeing here is that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems that Netflix is having a downgrade, a loss in subscribers, and it's not doing too well. And as I said before, I predicted this to happen because a lot of people were using other people's accounts to get stuff and what have you because it was really expensive. But now that they removed that, Netflix doesn't have a lot of good content. They're producing a lot of garbage content. The Witcher series is really not doing well at all. So I guess it's just not doing too great. So Netflix is in a downward turn, and then when they release the One Piece live action, which most likely is going to 100% fail, and I pray to God that it does not ruin that anime, but there is a really good chance it's going to, so fingers crossed. My mother-in-law does not live with us. She's hundreds of miles away, upstate, and a cold chill traced my spine as I realized that we might not be able to log in. Had Hulu also enacted a password-sharing crackdown? I wondered. I knew we hadn't covered such news on Tech Radar, but if we missed the press release, maybe Hulu was testing the feature. As it was, we signed back in with no problem, but as I reminded my wife, it's likely that we won't be able to do this indefinitely. There is simply no way that Hulu and other subscription platforms can ignore Netflix results. Netflix made those results crystal clear in its latest earnings report, which pointed to a 6% subscriber growth that was driven in part by password sharing crackdown. The growth, though, is mostly due to the other part of the program, a new account sharing program, which is really a new Netflix-approved paid way to share accounts. I knew it would be bad, but in March, I called Netflix and then, still in beta plans, to tip a very expensive expert. Proof that people will pay when forced to all is the evidence that other streamers and subscription services needed. I fully expect more subscription-based services to employ a similar location-based restrictions that will identify people logging in from outside the household IP address. My days of using my mother-in-law's Hulu account are surely numbered. So yeah, I see this being an issue. Okay, but the thing is, they probably should have enacted this in the beginning. Full stop. I understand the actual negativities of having the Netflix stuff and all that when you have the account sharing on both ends. It's nice to have the account sharing because people can account share, watch stuff, they have to pay stuff. It's better for the customer, but it's worse for the company. However, when you have the account based sharing stuff and then you and then you remove that and then there is no good content, you start to end up having a huge negative side of it. Honestly, if you're going to do this, you're going to have a downside in platforms and or subscribers and whatever or what have you because you're kicking that off. It's going to have you're going to have a loss. But the problem is this is actually worse than expected because not only did they essentially lose a lot of the Netflix sharing people, which that was bound to happen, they're also losing just subscribers on top of those people that were also sharing accounts. So I don't see to where this is going to go anywhere good for Netflix, considering there's just no good content on that platform. We have this here that as well. Netflix kills off cheapest no ads plan in the US and UK. Netflix is no longer offering its cheapest streaming plan without ads in the US and the UK, with the company aiming to push value-conscious consumers to sign up for its advertising-supported package. The basic plan, which provided a single stream for $9.99 a month in the US and $7 a month in the UK, is no longer available for new or rejoining members in their respective countries. According to Netflix, existing basic members can remain on this plan until you change plans or cancel your account. The elimination of Netflix Basic Plan is designed to boost customers on the ad-supported standard with ads, which the company first launched last November, which was a horrendous mistake because nobody likes ads. And if you're going to force people to watch ads, especially by paying for something, you're not going to really get a lot of people wanting to use your site or your platform. This is kind of a little bit of a know-how. Maybe these other platforms should take note. In May, Netflix has said it had signed up more than 5 million members for its ad-supported plans, with 20% of new subs taking the package. Our starting prices of $6.99 in the US and $4.99 in the UK for standard with ads are lower than competition and provide great value to consumers given the breadth and quality of our catalog, a Netflix spokesperson tells Variety, which I don't think is the case, considering the fact that it doesn't really help. The company dropped the basic plan in Canada last month. The move to end the basic plan in the US and UK comes as Netflix is set to report Q2 2023 earnings Wednesday as the market closes. Analysts expect Netflix to report a 7% lift from its new paid sharing program. The company's attempt to monetize illicit password sharing that launched widely during Q2 in the US and several other countries. And reporting Q1 2023 earnings, Netflix said that in the US, the ad-supported plan already was producing higher overall average revenue per customer, aka than the $15 a month standard plan. That implies that the company was generating at least $8.50 a month in ad revenue per subscriber on the standard with ads plan. Netflix standard with ads provides viewing on up to 2 devices simultaneously, as with no ad standard plan, but does not provide offline viewing on the option to add an extra member. The plan serves an average of 4 minutes of unskippable press per hour. The company says the vast majority of TV shows and movies are available on ad-supported plans, but that small number are not due to licensing restrictions. Netflix ad-supported plans currently are available in the US, UK, Australia, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Korea, Mexico, and Spain. Yeah, and this is, they're doing up a price hike, and I don't see how this price hike is going to even remotely be good at all for your customers. The way the economy is going and where everything is being and currently in across all countries, I don't see this being a positive. And I think this is part of the reason why we're seeing an actual drop here in the Netflix ad revenue here, or Netflix stocks and all this other stuff. Because when you remove this, and then you remove the count sharing, you get this, and it's $18 billion. I don't think this company can keep on losing this amount of money if they continue with this type of insanity. As I said, we have this as well. Netflix stock sinks as Wall Street looks for clarity on revenue growth. We have this as well, that Netflix stock sank more than 8% Thursday after a quarterly earnings report that was largely positive but left Wall Street underwhelmed and uncertain about the key revenue drivers. The sell-off in Netflix shares follows a 60% to date rally spurred by the rollout is cheaper and ad supported plan and a crackdown on password sharing, both of which were supposed to drive growth for the streaming giant, which it didn't. We have more here as well. Now, how Netflix can end the Hollywood strike in a way Disney and Paramount can't afford. The problem is here is that you writers are garbage. I'm going to be honest here. You're garbage. You're terrible at your job, and you're honestly part of the reasons why you are making Netflix lose money on top of many other their terrible decisions. So I don't know what you're going to really do this exactly. Netflix earnings report on Wednesday sent stock down, but the first question on the company's post-earnings Wall Street analysts call cut to the chase of Hollywood's biggest issue. Will the world's biggest video streaming company let Hollywood's ongoing strikes by writers and actors interrupt its business? Just as the company is turning into a true profit machine, some analysts are quietly suggesting that Netflix won't. Even as most people focus on the fact that Netflix has big inventory of content that could let it ride out a long strike, its burgeoning financials suggest another possibility. The Netflix will, in months to come, drive a nascent streaming industry where nearly all of its rivals lose money toward a deal that Netflix can't afford, but rivals can't. Here's the biggest thing here that we are seeing. Netflix has the inventory of content that could let it ride out a long strike. It doesn't. They had a terrible inventory, and they're removing a lot of things that were deemed good for Netflix, and the content they're keeping on producing is bad. Like The Witcher. You're going to say The Witcher is good? It's not. People are not watching it. People are hating it. So there's only a select few that actually like it. So I don't see anything going great here. I think everything's going to be a net negative for all of this. We even have this here. Netflix spent years tolerating its losses and later burning cash to build up its library of Netflix-produced content, betting on the day when it would get big enough to generate big returns on that investment. The second quarter results released Wednesday are the least of it. The most bullish analysis on Wall Street thinks profits could more than double by 2025, with even average estimates saying profits will rise to $8.3 billion from $4.5 billion last year. Which I don't see that ever remotely happening after we were seeing the trend here, what's going on with Netflix. And then we have this here, Disney Stretch subscribers, which we've gone over this before on this channel. And I think a lot of these companies are in trouble. I don't think it's going to go well. If they don't fix their issues and a lot of their problems that they keep on going for terrible stuff because they obviously don't like customers, they don't like them at all. So I would deem it as a downfall for all the companies, which thank God, because I hate Netflix, I hate Disney, and it just doesn't seem to be too great. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.